Utica was an area that had bits and pieces when I first came here of helpful institutions. They had the Cosmopolitan Center. They had even the Boys and Girls Club. They had the YMCA. They had organizations which provided outlets to young people, to the elderly in their community. They didn't have a lot of resources, but at least they could provide the spaces. Every single one of those are gone.
One of the things that our communities don't have as much in Cornhill overall are these like third spaces that we hear about a lot, right? Places where you don't have to spend a lot of money to go meet people, places where you can engage with new ideas, be introduced to new programs in the city, and also like come to develop yourselves.
Cornhill got its name predominantly because it was a cornfield here in Oneida County. And many of the now people of color who reside in Cornhill were people who were brought to Cornhill via the turnip truck. That is, they came here to pick vegetables. They came here to work the fields in Utica. Many of them stayed, made their home in Utica, and as they continued to stay rather than go back to Florida, go back to Georgia, Utica started to develop a population of African Americans and Hispanic Americans. And now many of our Burmese, many of our Korean immigrants have also settled in Cornhill. Cornhill has become the melting pot, if you will, throughout the city of Utica.
Part of our mission is, and the mission of the Community Foundation and our community partners, is to create hope and opportunity. If in fact you go around some of the streets and neighborhoods that will be impacted by this initiative, you see despair. By creating hope and opportunity, you do a lot of things. People first acknowledge that people are paying attention to them. Secondly, they have more self-esteem, self-confidence in themselves. Thirdly, they take more of a responsibility to address the needs not only of themselves, but their fellow neighbors and the community in which they live.
Community feedback is so important. To know the heartbeat of the community, what will spark joy, and even collaboration of sorts is needed from the community to understand what their challenges are and understand how we can solve those challenges together, collectively.
What you don't know is typically what you miss. And listening to people, understanding why an impact center is needed on West Street, even versus James Street, is going to be important in truly bringing to the neighborhood what the needs are.
I think dialogue is always important because it helps us to understand each other, where we're coming from, what our priorities are, and in this case, especially the priorities of the people who reside and live in the Cornhill neighborhoods.
The first meeting that we had with community members, I'll never forget, a woman said to us, "We don't want you to change our neighborhood, we want you to strengthen the DNA of our existing neighborhood." And that really set the focus for this initiative, which is to strengthen the core of this community.
Right, I think the biggest thing is that if we don't change and evolve, we eventually get left behind.
What you see from brick and mortar is going to be amazing, but really what's going to be life transforming is what's inside of these buildings.
Like everyone else, I want to see these happen now. The community partners working on this have a lot to accomplish. It's a tall task, and what everyone needs to understand is that in the meantime, we are going to be providing the same needs to the community in other places, in other centers. And when everything comes to fruition 5 years from now, we're going to truly have a network again of community support.
Having places that are safe, that are warm, they're also inviting, I think will really make a difference for our communities and people's ability to stay here and to envision a full life for themselves. I think the vision for these impact centers, right, are not just a 10-year project once they're built, right? It's something that's supposed to be like generationally impactful so that 40 years from now, we're not starting over again. 40 years from now, we're not tearing down what will then be the West Street Impact Center, right? What was the Leisure Time Center like we're doing now. Instead, we're talking about how do we add an addition to it? You know, what is the newest innovation that we're going to have? Look at all the people who are here. This is what they want to see in terms of innovation, in terms of programming, and in terms of space.
You strengthen neighborhoods. you revitalize neighborhoods, you re-energize neighborhoods, and you do that by taking pride in where you live, the neighborhood and the community that you reside. There's strength in numbers. Our responsibility is to listen to every single person and perspective.
We're trying to make a good situation better, but we can only do that if we all kick in, if we all work together.
But if you want to become part of the process, you're more than welcome to come and join us at the table.
Come join us.
Join us.